Hey guys, it's Arx here and welcome back to my channel. We are back with yet another Akko Switch review, and there's like 6 more new switches that I need to cover with Akko, but today we are taking a look and listen at the new CS Crystal Silver switches. But first, a quick message from our channel sponsor PCBWay. PCBWay is your one-stop shop for all your prototyping needs, and let me tell you that they offer a lot of PCB types, from aluminum PCBs, rigid flex PCBs, metal core, flexible, high frequency, high TG, and even thick copper PCBs. So if you are interested with their services, head over now to pcbway.com, links in the description. A quick background about the switches. This is a 3-pin linear switch with a short pre-travel of 1mm for that faster actuation, and with the 22mm extension springs. And with regards to the pricing, this is more on the mid-price as they offer this in packs of 45 pieces and would cost you around $16.99. By the way, this switches was sent for a review by Akko, but I wasn't paid to make the video, so of course I'll give you guys my honest and unbiased opinion about the CS Crystal Silver switches. So in today's video, it's going to be the usual, a stock versus lube sound test comparison, a sound comparison versus other linear switches, and of course, a short material breakdown. If you all want to hear my thoughts and opinion about the switches, please do stick around at the end of the sound test, or feel free to check the timestamps. And speaking of sound tests, let's do a quick disclaimer before we start. That the sound and experience will vary depending on your keyboard build, meaning to say that it will sound and it will feel different depending on your board. We will of course be using the Vega 65 with a polycarbonate plates, a PCB2 foam, and 1 case foam. The switches was lubed and the keycap that was used was a Domi key set. So with all of that out of the way, please do enjoy the sound test on the CS Crystal Silver switches. So that was the sound test on the crystal silver switches. Please do let me know on what you think about them on the comment section down below, and let's have some quick discussions. Before we head on to my own thoughts and opinion about the switches, let's break down the materials that was used on the switch. As you can see, these are a 3-pin switch and is using an MX style housing. So we have polycarbonate for the top housing, polycarbonate again for the bottom housing, polycarbonate as well for the stems, and lastly the springs with a 22mm extension springs with a 43-gram actuation force. And that was the material breakdown on the switches. If you made it up to this point, I would like to say thank you for staying. Let's now talk about my thoughts and opinion about the switch. Now finally, let's talk about my thoughts and opinion about the feel. On stock, it was quite smooth out of the box, but I wouldn't say as smooth as the V3 cream yellows, but close to their CS switch line like the CS silvers. I barely noticed any scratches, spring, and lift ping, which is again impressive but not surprised at this point Akko got their formula for smooth switches out of the box. I can say that you can use them right away out of the box, but of course I always lube my switches, and I can say that there wasn't really that of a night and day experience once lubed. Of course, it will be a bit more smoother, but it's not that drastic or game changing. If you do plan to lube yours, I suggest some light applications on the rails and stem, and you should be good. Now, the pre-travel on these are spot on. This feels like an improved CS Silvers that they had before. So it has a 1mm short pre-travel for that fast actuation, and the actuation force is around 43 gram, which is a bit light when you look at it on paper, but paired with the 22mm springs, basically gives you a faster bounce back when typing, so you won't really notice how light it is once you get used to it. I can say that this feels more solid than these snow blue-gray switches that we tried, and on par with the V3 cream yellows. Overall, typing on these are really satisfying. I think it's because of the extension springs, and hey, it's smooth out of the box and a very solid linear again from Akko. Moving on to my thoughts on the sound. Now, on stock, it's quite thin sounding at first, but it has that high-pitched linear sound to it. But it didn't sound all over the place, and it didn't have that plastic raw feeling sound. But it could be better once lube, as much as I do recommend the feel on stock. But on the sound, I could say lubing them might be a benefit if you want to improve the sound of the switches. Once lube, it sounded, of course, more subtle while maintaining that clacky sound profile, although I wouldn't say it has that aggressive sound profile. Personally, I like these more than the recent Snow Blue Gray, and same as the feel for the sound, these are quite on par on the cream yellows, but it has more on that snappier, clacky sound profile. Overall, I find the switches really nice for those who want a fast pre-travel and a light actuation. I really love the combination with the 22mm extension springs, and would say that this is far solid and better than the previous CS Silver. But with that being said, it's still hard to recommend this, especially with the V3 cream yellows. The V3 cream yellows is really, it's just a good switch for its price. Again, for this one, for a pack of 45, it would cost you around $16.99 compared to the V3 cream yellows of $8.99. I would only suggest getting this if you haven't tried a fast pre-travel switch, as you would get a nice typing experience when trying this out. But if we will compare it to the recent Snow Blue Gray switches, which is at the same price point, I would say that these feels more solid and sounds a bit better in my opinion. Again, it will still boil down to your preference. That is it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review, and as always, I hope you find this helpful. If you do, please don't forget to hit the like button, as it helps out my channel grow, and let's aim for the usual, the 50 likes. So what's next? We'll be reviewing the Zoom 65 V2 prototype. I've already done a short unboxing for that keyboard, and for the full review, please watch out. Again, don't forget to hit the like button, share if you want, and of course, subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys on the next sound test. Peace.